The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 30. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Visit our blog at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today's guest, I have a special guest here today. She is a female entrepreneur with many hats, and she'll explain more as to why. She is from Washington. I'm not sure Washington State. I'm assuming Washington State.
Yes.
And awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And she's a phenomenal woman. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Stacia Loo. And Stacia, how are you doing today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit about yourself, or a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Good, great. Thanks for having me. It's actually Stacia with an A, so it's kind of weird. People mess up my name all the time, but it's Stacia. It's spelled Stacia, but yeah, kind of short like Anastasia. But I'm not even Russian. I'm actually one of your first questions was what's my cultural background, and I'm actually living in Washington in the city of Bellevue, but I'm actually originally from Honolulu, Hawaii, and I am Chinese, Korean, Hawaiian, and Filipino. That's a little bit about me. I have a small family. I actually was a single mom. I have a 14-year-old, just put him in high school. Can't believe he's in high school already. Actually getting married in less than, 18 days now. I've been trying to count down, but it's coming close. It was less than 2 weeks here, so I'll be getting married to my fiance soon back home in Hawaii in a couple of weeks. I'm really excited. As for the entrepreneurial side of me, I do social media marketing for real estate agents all across the country, and also just have a love of self-development and sharing my story and being an example to others.
Thank you so much, and I apologize for mispronouncing your name. That was my fault.
Okay.
And I don't believe you have a 14-year-old son. Like, I've seen you, there's no way you have a 14-year-old son. I don't know, maybe it's because it's an Asian thing. We all, look younger than we do. But when you said 14-year-old son, I'm like, is she for real? So
Yes. I am still young. I did have him young. I was 20 years old when I had him, and I'm now 34. And yeah, so I do still look young, and I'll take that with the self-confidence.
Awesome. Even 34, I still don't believe you, but we can keep going. So, Stacia, what is your favorite self-confidence quote?
So when you asked me that, the first thing I thought of, it wasn't a short quote, but it's a quote by Marianne Williamson. It goes, "Our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate, but we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. As we ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, handsome, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You're playing small. It does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are born to make and manifest the glory of God within us. It's not just in some, it's in everyone. And we let our own light shine. We consciously give other people permission to do the same. So as we liberated from our fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So whether or not you believe in God or a higher power, I believe that there's something above us that is watching over us. And this quote resonated with me so much because I had felt that in my past and certain times of my life, I've definitely shrunk myself small, especially as women. I believe it's very common that we, make ourselves feel smaller than to not let other people around us feel insecure around us. And so when you asked me about a self-confidence quote, that resonated with me.
Thank you. And I think that's a favorite for a lot of women who I've interviewed. They just love talking about that quote. And one thing that I really love about that quote by that lady is, you playing small doesn't serve the world, which is so true, right? A lot of people out there are playing really small, thinking they don't have anything to offer in life, when really, you have everything to offer in life, right? You just got to go out and just do it. Just take the action and just find the right people who will support you along the way. So thanks for sharing that. And in your own words, what would be your definition of self-confidence?
My definition is someone who can just be themselves and just own it. And, you don't need to ask anyone's permission about how you should run your business or what you should do, and there's all these shouldings that we should just not be shitting on ourselves. You deserve to have everything just like anyone else. And so someone that's just, even when you asked me, I was like, to do this interview, I was like, me? But yeah, why not me? And when I see someone else as well that can just, have the posture, and whether or not sometimes not all the time that we feel as confident, but just to hold yourself high and walk with it, just own it.
So true. Sometimes you just got to own it. It's how you project yourself, how you carry yourself. People will start looking up to you. And believe me, I started with no clue what to do, how to build a following or how to build influence. I just kept on doing it until somebody listened to me, right? And sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's just as well with being an entrepreneur. And I've for so many years, and I'm just going to keep doing it. I still feel like I don't know it all, or I still feel like I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. But you do it with taking, by imperfect action, and you get good at things as you go along, and by just taking imperfect action, and you just pivot, and you keep going, and then you shift, and you just find out things that you don't like and what you do like, and that's just part of life too, is that you have to go along with. You can't go along being afraid or having fear of doing something or doing it wrong, because you'll never know what you like and what you don't like unless you keep feeling forward.
Yep, that is so true. Stacia, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
It's funny because people that know me now will not even believe before that I was very shy. I was probably your typical, not semi-typical, but sort of typical Asian quiet girl in the corner, and just kind of not talking, or not speaking out of turn, or had a lot of children are to be seen and not heard, and all those negative self-talk and stuff. But it's pretty hard to not stand out. I'm like 5, you can't really tell online, but I'm actually 5'7" as an Asian girl that's super tall, taller than average Asian girl, and I would shrug my shoulders and hunch my body to kind of be that small, insecure person. And now it's totally different, but I catch myself now, even with my posture, just to stand up straight, and I've been working out over the last few years and really making a conscious difference with my body, and just working out, having to hold myself in a different position when you're lifting weights and things like that. It totally made me feel feel differently, just changing my posture. It's a tip that I will give your viewers or your listeners.
No, that is a very important tip. Nobody realized that posture also really does correlate with self-confidence, right? Because I've heard stories as well, especially in Asian women, that they kind of hunch their backs, they kind of they're not to be seen anywhere, and that really talks about how you carry yourself as well. So it's really important that, you have to stand tall and be proud. And I was the same. I would be hunchback, but then my mother would slap my back so hard because she'd be like, stand up straight. And I'm like, okay. But, your posture does really, it can really help also with your self-confidence, because when you stand tall and proud of the things you do, it just builds that confidence in you. For you, Stacia, what was your aha moment when you realized, you do have a voice, you can go do things on your own, you start believing in yourself? When was that moment?
That's a hard one when you asked me that, and first thing I thought of was my fiance. He's just been such a big support in my life, and he's constantly telling me how beautiful I am and how I can do anything. And of course, I knew I could do anything before he came into my life. But as much as anyone in your outside world or your support system tells you, you have to believe it yourself. And the moment when I started believing in myself, and just taking action too. When I first met him, I was actually 180 pounds, which is overweight for my height and not in a good place. And after being with him, and it's so funny because sometimes people have that connotation with relationships. When you get into one, you get comfortable and get even fatter. But in this, we actually went the opposite way, and I actually wanted to work harder. He made me want to work harder and better myself, and both of us started, eating healthier and eating clean. And I guess after doing that and just having being more conscious about what we're eating and being conscious about wanting to feel good, I started seeing changes, and just the more that I would see changes in my body and getting more fitter and stronger, I would start feeling better and just wanted to do even more of that. So I think during that process of just changing my whole entire lifestyle, because getting fit and eating better and just feeling good is a whole lifestyle change, and just with that, who doesn't want to have self-confidence too? So when you see those changes, of course, things like that doesn't happen for you overnight too. So while you're in the midst of it, it's hard to see. But when you start seeing those results after consistent action, it just kind of hit me like, yes, I want more of that.
That is so true. I mean, I know what you went through because, a couple years ago I went through like this body transformation, and really when you can look at yourself in the mirror and you see the body that you've always dreamed of, it's like, I can't believe I got there, right? And then you buy clothes, they start looking like a lot better than before, and it really just builds up your confidence, right? And it's just like a big lifestyle change, not just physically but mentally as well, because now you start believing that you can do anything you want, you can put your mind to it and anything's possible. Stacia, what's your life like now? I know you're going to be getting married like really soon. What else has been what has life been?
I know. Yeah, so getting married in less than a few weeks here. I still, like I said too, I still struggle with self-confidence here and there, but it's like you're always, I'm always constantly pivoting myself. I'm so glad that I have such a community around me that I get to surround myself with. Like I've been following you for a while, and you make me laugh with all your posts, and I have lots of other internet friends too that I connect with and just surround myself with here locally, a mastermind of successful people. And I just believe that people, if you don't have someone or a community that you can connect with you and lift you up, that's like the biggest thing for me that's helped me in my life to get more confident. If I'm feeling down, which we always have those ups and downs, there's always like that couple of people that I have on, speed dial that can like lift me up and be like, hello, shut up. Like, you're awesome. Like, get on with it.
Who you surround yourself with is really important, especially as Asian women, we're always told what to do. And then if we do something that's totally out of the norm, it's like a big sin, right? It's like, what are you doing? You're going crazy, right? And sometimes we tend to believe maybe we are crazy, and then you surround yourself with like-minded women who are doing the same things, and you just know you're on the right path, right? You're on the right path to whatever your journey is, right? Being an entrepreneur, changing the world, just doing some good out there. So if you're in that same situation, this is what the podcast is for, to help you realize that you are on the right path. You have something out, you have something inside of you that needs to just come out, and you can start living life out loud. So, Stacia, to the woman who's listening to your story, what would be that one tip you would give to her in her own journey to self-confidence?
Well, I think that awareness is the first step. So if you hear yourself, the negative self-talk stuff is going to come up. Some of my mentors call it the drunk monkey. A recent one that I found online, she called it your mean girl. And so when those stories come up, because they're always going to come up, there are always these stories that come from a deep place, whether it's from our childhood or not being good enough or pretty enough or smart enough. Unfortunately, those issues will come up, and write them down. Write them all down, like be aware of them. Like don't try to hide them or stuff them away, but be aware of them, and then write a new story. A lot of my coaches taught me this, and whether, it's a tip of maybe finding a coach that resonates for you, but just, number one, be aware of the story, and then rewrite those stories and be able to reframe the stories into something else that actually serves you. If those negative self-talk stories come up, which they are going to, find a way to write a new story, find a coach that could help you through those so that you can know that they're there, but then tell the mean girl to shut up and close the door on her and write a new story so that you can live your life, but with power instead of lack or not self-confidence or whatever the opposite would be.
Thank you. I actually like that exercise, because sometimes we hold on to our negative feelings, thinking we always have to be positive, but you have to learn how to let it go so you can receive new things, right? New thoughts, new feelings. So
yeah, and then start focusing on what you do want, focusing on the positive stuff. Another exercise, which is similar, is to write everything on the left-hand side of what you don't like in your life or what's not working, and write a new story of the stuff that you do want on the other side, and then rip off the left side and throw it into the fire and get rid of it. Be gone.
That's awesome. I actually did something like that too, just, dumping all your negative thoughts and just burning it. It felt really good. So, to anyone who does do that, please, let's practice some safety, though. Especially with fire. This is a disclaimer. I just want to make sure, be safe. But it is a great exercise. So, Stacia, if someone wanted your services, especially in real estate, or wants to learn more about your Millionaire Mindset blog, where can we reach you?
Great question. Yes, you can find me the marketing side of me in real estate. I help real estate professionals with social media marketing, Facebook ads, and that's stacialoo.com. It's spelled STACIALOO.com. My last name will change soon, so it actually might be Stacia Kennedy if you want to Google me. But the personal development side, I actually interview millionaires and talk a little bit about my personal development type stuff at themillionairesintraining.com.
I'm going to check that out myself. So to the listeners out there, make sure you head over to the selfconfidence.com and search for Stacia's name. It could be Stacia Loo or Stacia Kennedy, depending on when you're listening to this episode. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really just want to thank Stacia for, sharing her journey with us and giving us these awesome tips when it comes to self-confidence. So Stacia, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. And we'd love to have you back, if you allow us to have you back for an encore.
Yeah.
Awesome. So listeners, tune in for another new episode of another women's amazing journey to self-confidence, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us on the Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit thetaoofselfconfidence.com for links to everything we chatted about today, as well as killer resources, gifts, and so much more. Start your inner journey to self-confidence today.